Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, happy insomnia, depending on when you're accessing this video. I hope you are doing well and that you and all your loved ones are healthy. This is the second episode of Rock du Jour, and our rock today is this one. I'll hold it up here to the screen so you can get a sense of its characteristics. You can see that it's overall sort of a maroonish color, and it is very poorly sorted with these big chunks in it, and most in particular this gray chunk right here. This is a piece of an ancient glacial deposit, and it's really, really old. So this is from the Snowball Earth glaciations, and I collected this in a place called Sperry Wash outside of Death Valley National Park just a few weeks ago, back when things were normal. In fact, the very last normal thing that I did before basically staying at home ever since was leading a field trip to Death Valley for some of my students at Northern Virginia Community College. And we went to this location where we saw these ancient glacial deposits. Glaciers are moving rivers of ice, and as they move along, they grind up the landscape, pulverizing the rock and carrying pieces of rock along with them. They have an extraordinarily high capacity and competence, meaning that they can move a whole lot of sediment and they can move really big pieces of sediment. When the glacier melts, it basically just dumps it all. And that means that big pieces, like this one, get deposited alongside really small pieces, like the ones that you can't see making up the rest of the sample here. So that's one of the characteristics of glacial deposits, is that they're exceptionally poorly sorted. When these occur on land, we call them till, but there are marine equivalents as well, where the glaciers just disgorge the sediment into the water. And what's kind of cool about this particular deposit, which is part of the Kingston Peak Formation, is a lot of the inclusions are limestone. So if you look closely here, you can see this distinctive weathering pattern. That's the way that limestones weather out in the desert. Not maybe as focused as I'd like it to be there, but it's got this distinctive karstic weathering. And that tells us that immediately prior to the glaciation, the sediments that were being deposited there were warm tropical limestones that then, basically conditions dramatically changed. Glaciers moved over the area, pulverized those limestones, dumped the debris, and then immediately after the glaciation, there's also another package of limestone and dolostone. So it suggests basically the climate went from hot to cold to hot again, dramatic swings back and forth. And that's part of the whole story of Snowball Earth glaciation. So that is an example of Diamictite of the Kingston Peak Formation, and it is our rock du jour.